I'm the creator behind some of the most viral, cutting-edge content in real estate media. I've had a single reel hit 7 million views, gave me over 12,000 followers, and I've had even better results from my client that got nearly 25,000 followers in a single reel in less than a week. Sounds pretty cool, right? But today I'm going to show you why chasing those numbers is the wrong game entirely, how it drove me to the edge of burnout, and what to do instead. Quick heads up, if you're a real estate videographer trying to figure out how to charge premium rates in a market that isn't Miami or LA, I'm running a 4-week live cohort for making better real estate content. First link in the description. And if that's not for you, stick around anyway. This video is going to change how you think about this entire business. Here's the narrative the industry sold you. Go viral, shoot ultra luxury, travel to where the money is. And here's the thing, for some people, that actually works. The creators you see posting $20 million homes, flying to Greece, the Bahamas, New York, they're not lying. You can charge a lot for those if they're done the right way. But nobody told you why it works for them and why it probably won't work for you. Let's break down all three, starting with virality. Let's assume that you figure it all out. You make a banger, it hits 1 million views. You think you've cracked the code. You make another and it does well. You make a third and it does well too. But now every video has to be just as good or better. 1 million views, next one needs 1.5. But it only gets 300K, so what went wrong? You followed the same formula, but 200K? What happens when that viral code you cracked only gets 20K? Then you catch yourself saying, our video only did 10,000 views this time. What on earth happened? Not realizing that 10,000 views is still the top 1% of performance in this industry. And here's where it gets bad. The expectations become colossal. You can't even hit record anymore unless it's guaranteed to go viral. You're staying up late every night, crafting the perfect hook, the perfect script, the perfect shot. And here's the thing, you can have all of that dialed in and still not control the variables. How the agent looks and sounds on camera, how the listing looks on film, what the weather's like on shoot day, what the algorithm decides to push that week, and trends. Anybody remember the agent disappearing effect? The only thing that disappeared faster than the agent was the trend itself. And you can make the best video of your career and it only does 2,000 views. Not because it's bad, but because the variables just didn't line up. So what do? You go to your DM groups and you spam share every client video to every videographer and every friend you know, trying to rack up comments and push the engagement. But those people are never going to buy that house. They're not the target audience, and now Instagram is confused. The only people engaging are other videographers from markets 2,000 miles away. So the algorithm does exactly what you trained it to do. Shows your video to more videographers, not the market that might actually care. Just stop. You're making it worse. And now your clients expect performance. Your other videos did well, and theirs only got 2,000 views, so now they look at you and say, what went wrong? And that's our fault. We sold them on a metric that we can't control. We're going to make you go viral is not a business model. It's a gamble that you're going to lose consistently. Now, let's talk luxury. This part's fun. So I'm going to show you something real quick. This is raw data that I pulled from the NAR. In ultra luxury markets where the billionaires, celebs, tech finance bros live, you know the markets I'm talking about, the average listing is 15 million. Agent commission at 2.5%. 375K. So a $5,000 video, which we've been told to charge by some of the gurus in the industry, is only 1.3% of their check. To put that in perspective, if a clerk at a grocery store handed you $10 in change and only 13 cents was missing, you wouldn't even bat an eye. Sounds like a pretty easy sale to me. And it makes sense, right? But look what happens in middle-class markets where 90% of us actually work. I'm talking Columbus, Nashville, Phoenix, Charlotte. The average listing is 430K, and the agent's commission, only 11. Suddenly, a $5,000 video is half of their commission. Same video, same quality, but completely different economics. Even at $2,000, which most of us are trying to charge, you're at 18% of their commission. That's what a sales rep makes for actually closing a deal. And we're not closing anything. We're holding a camera. Take a look at these numbers now, and then ask me why the $500 guy keeps beating you. But here's the other ceiling with luxury. I pulled every listing in my market over 2 million, the upper middle threshold where agents might actually be willing to pay you $2,000, and there's only 87 listings total. Even if I filmed every single one at $2,000 each, that's 100% market share. That's still only $174,000 max. And once you film every listing, there's nothing left to film. I don't know about you, but that does not sound like a business at all. That sounds more like a trap, and the math just doesn't work. But you've been told there's a way out. Your market's not the problem. You just need to travel where the money is. Okay, let's play along. So you book a flight to the Bahamas, you get the $15 million listing, you're charging $5,000 for the video, and it's worth it. But flight's $1,000, hotel's another, plus food, maybe a rental car or Ubers, and a few days away from home. And after all that, you're walking away with less than $3,000. And that's before taxes. And you just spent 3 days serving a client you'll likely never hear from again because their market has nothing to do with yours. No relationships, no referrals. And on the flight home, you're still hunting for the next job, starting from zero every single time. Meanwhile, back home where you're supposed to be building your business, 3 local shoots at $1,000 each, that's $3,000. Same money, and you're home for dinner. So who's actually winning here? Look, let's just call this travel myth what it really is. It's a vacation that you just got reimbursed for. Also, not a business. And look, I'm not trying to call anybody out here. I'm not even saying you should deny these opportunities if they come to you. I'm saying this because I did this. I flew to LA. I shot the $20 million mansions. Those videos helped put me on the map and I don't regret them, but I wasn't flying there thinking that's how I'd build my business. Yeah, I got paid, but that wasn't the point. I was flying there to build my brand, and that's a portfolio move, not a business model. So it's important not to confuse the two. So when you combine the need to go viral, the need to shoot luxury, and the need to travel, that's a recipe for inevitable burnout. Let me tell you my story. February last year, I shot for 10 days straight. 2 hours driving, 3 to 4 hours shooting, 4 to 6 hours editing, every single day. I hit my first $30,000 month, and on paper, that was a dream scenario. I thought I made it. In reality, I came home at the end of the month, sat down with my wife, and said, never again. I was just so burnt out, anxious, overwhelmed, editing till 2 a.m. every night, trying to make every video perfect because of the expectations that I had built for myself from my own viral success. And the truth is, I had just built myself a prison. A high-paying prison with a nice Instagram following, sure, but a prison. And here's what nobody else will tell you. When you go viral, when you gain a lot of followers, you become an overnight sensation. The pressure to perform becomes so overwhelming. You start comparing yourself to all your competitors, wondering how you're going to top your last video. And if I felt this way with 10,000 followers, imagine how people feel with 30, 40, or even 50,000. The stakes are even higher. And I know they feel the same way because we're all spending our free time studying the algorithm, chasing trends, trying to keep up with everybody else. And none of it actually earns us any money. It's a vanity metric for clout. Maybe you're one of these creators, maybe you're not. But if you're feeling this right now, tired of the 2 a.m. edits, tired of chasing metrics you can't control, I'm putting together something that I wish I had last year. Keep watching. I'll tell you more about it in a second. But for now, let's talk about what actually needs to change. Let me ask you this. How many people are actually going to buy that specific house you're filming for your client? 1, maybe 2 if there's a bidding war. The odds that that one person who's going to buy that $600,000 home happens to see your reel, happens to be in the market at that exact time, happens to be looking for that exact property in that exact neighborhood, almost 0. Building your entire business around that outcome is complete insanity. So if the videos don't directly sell houses, which they don't, what do they actually do? They brand the agent. Now hold on, before you come at me with torches and pitchforks because you've all heard brand the agent, let me explain what that actually means. When we create a great video, the seller thinks, my agent is going all out for me. I hired the right person. And the seller down the street is thinking, why isn't my agent doing this? We're both paying the same commission. Yet all they did was 25 photos and a floor plan. And no, making our clients twerk on countertops does not make the seller think they hired the right person. Save that stuff for teenagers on TikTok. The video isn't about selling that specific house. It's an audition for the neighbor that's thinking about selling theirs next month. We're helping the agent earn their next commission, not just the one they hired us for. And when you understand this, everything changes. Your messaging changes, your offer changes, everything about your service changes. Because suddenly the content becomes less about that one home and more about the agent. And I get it. They hired us to film this house, so how do we make it about the agent too? That's where the campaign strategy comes in. And I'll break it down fully in an upcoming video. Subscribe so you don't miss it. But if you want to see an example of it in action, you can just check my Instagram page where you'll see how I created 3 videos from one shoot, each one with a different message, serving a different purpose. Now here's the shift. We've got to stop promising virality because we can't control it. And instead start promising that the seller will love their agent, because you can control that, and that's a promise you can actually keep. This is something that I stumbled upon unknowingly last year. My agent called me about a listing and said, hey, you remember that house we shot 2 weeks ago? The neighbors saw the video and they want to list theirs now too. At the time, I had no idea what that meant. I just thought, cool, another listing video. But little did I know that that was the secret I was looking for all along. And yeah, I got 2 videos out of the deal, whoopee. But the agent, another 2.5% commission that she would not have had otherwise. Now does a premium video seem a bit more worth it? You tell me. And all the agency owners I know who are making sustainable money in this industry, they're not the ones going viral. They're flying way below the radar. Not chasing luxury in cities they don't live in, not spending half their revenue on flights and hotels, not promising metrics that they can't control. And what they did instead was get so good at what they do that they stopped becoming comparable to everyone around them. Now, I live in a relatively small market. Population is only 200,000. I'm not shooting $20 million celebrity mansions, yet I work with the top producers in my area and charge more than most videographers I know, even in stronger markets than me. How? Because I stopped competing on price. When you're the $300 guy trying to undercut the $200 guy, you're playing a losing game because there's always someone willing to do it for less than you. But when your work is so distinctly good that it doesn't look like anyone else is in your market, you're not even in the same conversation anymore. It's a different game entirely. Now, here's where I have to be honest with you. I can't promise that you'll charge $2,000 for your next video. There's too many variables, your market, your clients, your positioning. But here's what I can tell you. If you're not already charging a lot, your work probably just isn't good enough yet. And it's not because you're not talented. It's not because you don't work hard, but because most of us are so busy grinding out the volume game that we never actually take time to level up our craft. We're editing at 2 a.m. trying to keep up, not trying to get better. We need to let the market be the bottleneck and not our work. Now, I can hear what you're thinking. Cool, JT, make better work. Groundbreaking advice. Yeah, I know, it sounds simple, but here's the problem. You can't level up your craft when you're drowning because it's impossible to improve when you're stuck in survival mode. In my next video, I'm going to show you the workflows and editing systems that changed how I approach video for real estate, specifically when it comes to producing higher quality work much more efficiently. And no, not a magic edit in 15 minutes button. That doesn't exist, at least not yet. But real creative solutions that make your work look like it's in a different league. Because it actually is. That video drops in a few days. Subscribe so you don't miss it. And if you're tired of the late night edits, tired of making work that looks just like everybody else's, tired of playing a game that you didn't even realize was rigged, I'm putting together a small group to build this entire system together live. It's called The Signature Creator. It's a 4-week cohort with live calls and direct access to me, where I show my entire system from start to finish. The link is in the description, and I'm capping it at 50 members to keep it tight-knit and highly interactive. And it's first come, first serve. Even if you never join, even if you just watch these videos, I truly hope you walk away thinking differently about what's actually possible in this industry, because there really is a better way to do all this. So stay tuned for more, and I'll see you in the next one.